Well, goddamn, I feel synthetically revived because it's 9 o'clock, and that can only mean that it's 90s at 9. 1995 is the year OJ gets a pass. Paul Reiser drops the immortal couplehood, and pornography and the bushes behind the golf course have seen the day because the .com era is here. Oh, Moondog Casanova here, mama, and I'll be with you right up until the witching hour, so sit back, fire up a cig, and just let your face melt in the devil's rain with the soothing sounds of Gutted. Only on Superstation 66. Jack. Oh my goodness, I do get carried away. Oh, so, what's your dealio, Lucy Zelio? Huh? Oh, hey. Hemorrhoids, right? Yeah. Well, how's it hanging? Fine. Solid. Let me ask you a question, Hemorrhoids. Sure. What the hell are you listening to? The Jewel of the Nile soundtrack. Why? Because it's better than Romancing the Stone. Now, is that right? Oh, yes. No offense, but I really don't like this black metal. Who's listening to black metal? I don't know. You? Oh, Daddy, are you pulling my zucchini right now? No, sir, I wouldn't do that. Well, okay. That's good to know. Here, come on, sit down. Have a seat. But I still have to do the dishes in the break room. Oh, they ain't going anywhere, Daddy. Well. Yes, fascinating. I can't believe my eye. Fuck's sakes, ask me what I'm looking at. What's that? This. Oh, little side project that I'm working on. Just keeping up with the rascals that run around this place. HR and shit, you dig? Oh. Well, here, take a look. Smart guy like you. Shit, sky's the limit. I'm looking at you and I see, well, I don't know, upper mid-management. Okay. Hey, I know him. He works here. Yeah, he sure does. He's worked a lot of places. A real company man. Yes, sir. I could use a guy like you. What for? Oh, I don't know. Random tasks. Few errands. Coffee runs. Prescription pickups. Well, keep an eye on my good friends here and report it back to me. Easy peasy. And it wouldn't even interfere with your janitor gig. Okay. What? Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Because I'm worried about their high blood pressures and lack of exercise, Daddy. I want to know what they're doing, what they're saying, how many shits they take a day, how's their mothers, and if their fathers are still working. I want to know all of it. I want to know everything that they're doing. And then report it back to me. Just watch them, Daddy. And now don't make it obvious. Do your thing, but keep tabs. Like we're planning a surprise birthday party. Oh, okay. Now I get it. I knew you would. Well, Texas Mike took a shit about 20 minutes ago. Half hour tops. Bathroom was a doozy. See? Some real Jason Bourne shit right there. Well, I better get back to it. Yes, of course. But one more thing. We're gonna work together. I can't have you wandering around here like a goddamn milksop not knowing the difference between death metal and black and working this station. Whoa, I do have some rock and roll values, mama. But can I still listen to the Jewel of the Nile soundtrack? The Jewel of the Nile, Peggy Sue got married, and Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles too, for all I care. But sure as shit as you're there, Jack, you're gonna know your metal when I'm through with you. Okay. When do we start? We already have hemorrhoids. We already have. Oh, okay. But could you first get up, please? Because there's a lot of empty Whippet cans and some Funyuns under your seat. Oh my goodness, yes, of course. Focus, goddammit. So we got Discharge, Motorhead, Venom, Kiss, Sabbath, and Cooper. Borrowing Discharge. Yeah, whatever. Alright, that was a mouthful, but yeah, this is your core ingredients, okay? You look worn out. You want some beer or some shit? No, thank you. I don't like the taste. Well, okay. Suit yourself. Do you have a 7-Up? No, I don't, but I do have a can of Perrier. Is it good? Well, I have no beef with it. Okay. Do you want a lewd? What's that? Well, it makes the Perrier taste like 7-Up. Here. Fuck yes. Stir that shit in good. it takes a bit of time, trust me. Now, I want to be crystal clear when I say that I'm no expert when it comes to black metal, right? Fuck off. Lines in the sand were drawn years ago. I know shit's changed. Everybody fucking loves everybody, but I'm old school, and I pledge my allegiance to death. Pepsi, Coke, Yankees, Red Sox. Mac PC, you dig? It's like me with comics. Marvel's cool, but I'm more of a DC guy. Well, get the fuck out of here. No, it's true. See? What do we have here? I love Booster Gold and Blue Beetle a lot, but my absolute favorite is Justice League Europe. Super funny. Well, I don't doubt it, but I could never read it because Guy Gardner was such a dickhead. That haircut alone would inexplicably send me into a spiraling rage. People just don't understand him is all. Maybe, but I almost creamed my jeans when Batman socked him in the nose. Totally. But in Gardner's defense, it doesn't take much to push Batman's buttons. Well, look at us. A couple of funny book chums. Solid. You know something? This could actually help in the lesson plan. Oh, cool. So all this crazy bullshit out of the way, let's get back to it. Hemorrhoids, I think to fully understand the difference between death and black metal, rather than the beasts themselves, I think it's best to explore the mad scientists who made these fucking monsters in the first place. So all this, again, your foundation, soak it in. But these OG bands that we're going to be looking at here today, near and dear to me, the ones that served as a bolt of lightning, or the incantations that gave them life. That's cool. Now you strike me as a visual learner. Less is more, am I right? Not with ketchup. Ain't that the truth, Daddy? But seriously, death metal, if I could sum up everything it's about in one easily digestible way, how would I do that? That's a good question. Well, here you go. Godzilla? Very good. Now, how would you describe Godzilla, Hemorrhoids? A big pissed off monster that wants to destroy and crush all in its path. One for one. Oh, fucking A. You might make the dean's list, son. Now, forgive me, pardon my marvel, but who's this? Morbius, the living vampire. You care to enlighten us? He was a sick man, ravaged by disease, but found a cure from bat blood, turning him into an unnatural monster with a forbidden bloodlust, but not without guilt, yearning, remorse, and self-loathing. God damn! You may be deeper than a puddle after all. Okay, good. He was written as a villain earlier on, debuting in Amazing Spider-Man 101. Okay, shut up, I don't care. So you get it. So death is Godzilla, and black is Morbius, at its simplest. Okay, cool. Thank you. You're welcome. Well, I better get up and finish these dishes. Maybe you can make me a mixtape of first wave Black and Death. Sit your ass down and fuck them dishes. Now I like your moxie, Jack, but if I ever hear you say the words first wave black metal again, I'm gonna have to gas pedal your balls down to the 7th circle of hell, because that's a touchy subject matter. Hear this! There really is no first wave of black metal, and if there was, they're sure as shit not unified by sound. And the timeline and the geography is way too spaced out. This ain't your 79-82 British sort of thing either, dig? No, daddy. The only thing that kept that shit together was Dirty Speed and Satan. And again, even if there was a first wave black metal, you wouldn't find my blood or semen on a best of first wave mix cassette. No way, no how! Because no matter whatever you do, you're gonna get some blue tacky's fingered chud having a grand mal seizure on a floor mattress because you didn't include Holocaust or Root. So fuck that. I'm telling you, man, they're worse than savages. Just absolute punishers. I'm talking Rick and Morty fan levels here. Sorry. It's cool, Hemorrhoids. But always remember this. When I received my honorary black belt in karate, I couldn't anymore just saunter in any old dad's kumite behind the Dixie Leaf fried chicken. My teachings made these a registered weapon, so don't ever take what I teach you today with a grain of salt, because someone's gonna get hurt. And that could very well be you. First wave black metal. God damn. My apologies. Now you want to get nuts? Well then let's start off with a goddamn heat sink of controversy! Possessed Hemorrhoids, 7th Church, 1985! Now you're gonna get a lot of mothers out there perioding hard as to whether or not this is the first death metal album, although factually predating Chuck and Company. Now listen up, because this is a hell worth dying on. Now of course, yes, for 85 this shit is faster and more wicked than both Metallica and Slayer. Now I didn't say better, chill your tits, Walmart compact disc shoppers, but to say that this was the first death metal band is the equivalent of crediting Venom as being the first black metal band. And that's not a slight at them either, because the influence that both bands had on both genres can be overstated. But I think people just didn't know how to label these guys at the time. But let me tell you something, you go back in a DeLorean to either 79 or 85 and bet your ass you'd get the Marvin Berry treatment. No, 7 Churches will... What are you doing? I want to touch the same boss part. Holy shit, dude. Are you stimming or some shit? Okay, touch it. Come on, hurry up. It's nice. Spooky. Anyway, this is a flaming bridge across the river Styx of thrash to the blood-soaked wasteland that was scream bloody gore. Mucho respecto. Well, now it comes down to this. Primordial fucking chaos! Hellhammer and Celtic Frost. Hemorrhoids. Now don't panic, alright? Just stay with me. These stories are interlinked. Now tell me something, Hemorrhoids. What do you know about Switzerland? Come on now, it's gotta be something.
Well, there was a girl in my grade 7 class named Sylvia Cock.
Yes, the most comical surname.
Yes, but she was very pretty. She looked like Saturn Girl. Or was that blonde girl on Nashville and Scream 4?
Ooh, Hayden Panettiere.
Oh, yeah. Her father was an anesthesiologist. They lived off Monda's Lane in the big gray house. And boy, was she good at ballet. I used to imagine her being my girlfriend. Just kissing, brushing her horse's hair, and playing Madden 94 on the futon. But too bad that never happened. But one time, the bestest day of my life, in home ec class, I saw her take the gum out of her mouth and stick it under her desk. She was through with it, I guess. So you know what I did?
No, you're scaring me, Hemorrhoids.
I waited till everyone else was gone, and then I went over and took it from the bottom of her desk and stuck it in my mouth. The closest thing I'd ever get to kissing her, because people said I was stupid white trash. And then she and her parents moved to Vancouver. Harry says she's my white whale, but she wasn't fat at all.
I've never been so disturbed and moved at the same time. Let me tell you something, Hemorrhoids. This Sylvia Cock chick, call me crazy, but she sounds like the embodiment of Switzerland. So now imagine being, as you put it, poor white trash, but living in Switzerland. Now what sick god would even create such an abomination? So I know you can imagine wanting to have ambitions beyond your wealth, looks, and talent. Always on the outside looking in. The beauty, the wealth, the gorgeous mountainous region that gave us precision and world-renowned craftsmanship. The joy and laughter of Heidi, Swedish Erotica, Volume 5 to 19, and Riga La Drops. Well, Thomas Gabriel Fisher, a.k.a. Thomas G. Warrior, wasn't going to let that stop him either, goddammit, just like you. And he and a few other fellow pariahs would create a band that would be mocked and ridiculed for its avant-garde fusion of, well, check it, venom and discharge.
Is it good?
Well, that depends on how you're wired. If you like the sound of a bus full of maximum security inmates veering off course into an active volcano, you're gonna dig it. It's rough, Daddy. Crocus, this was not. And I'd go on the record stating that if this band had one single lesson as to how to play and record their music, I don't think it would be possible to achieve such a primitive sound. This is Blueprint for Black, Daddy. Are you getting this?
Yeah.
Now, after Tom and Martin's perceived failure and embarrassment of Hellhammer, he and his pal Martin named, they formed Celtic Frost. And this, baby, was leaps and bounds. And Morbid Tales was the next logical step from Raids. But this is where things really lay out and get real. Let's just maybe say the post-Crisis on Infinite Earth for black metal. Sweet Majesty of To Megatherion. French Horn alone was the brass balls equivalent of serving a $10 bottle of red wine with a roasted Niçoise salad. Hellhammer was a failed, ugly two-headed transplant. But Frost was an advanced engineered biological weapon of, say, a xenomorph.
Do you like Alien 3?
I hate it less than I did, Daddy.
I think it's pretty good, but after the big blockbuster action of Aliens, I think a lot of people didn't get the return to the horror roots of the first one.
Well, you go from a planet of these things, and now you just have to deal with one of them? Come on, don't offer me a slice, I want the whole goddamn pizza. It's just like expecting me to easily regress from the brilliant production of Effigy of the Forgotten to the Panasonic and the Closet sounds of Blaze in the northern sky. Hemorrhoids, you're giving me Columbo vibes, son. Because I don't know if you know more than you're letting on. Anyway, I think it's safe to say that
Aliens is death metal. Alien and Alien 3 are black?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. You gonna be another lawnmower man on me here? Alright, anyway, back to reinforce my previous point. Ask me why Morbius and Godzilla just didn't get along.
How come?
Because the idea of Godzilla got too bloated, too big. Come to think of it, it now became Mecha Godzilla, so to speak. Too pristine, too clean, too technical. His big-ass showdowns, although impressive, just became the norm. Predictable. And then another monster would show up, and then wreck shit, and then Godzilla would have to fight this asshole, and then wreck shit even harder. It just became the norm, and they loved him for it. The masses actually celebrated him.
Oh, yeah.
Morbius didn't play that shit. He liked it in the shadows, in the darkness, hated, feared, a superior to the common man and an abomination to God, something that fed on his children. No, Godzilla didn't have an agenda, or an ethos. He wanted to crush and melt shit with his atomic breath lasers. Morbius, on the other hand, had a philosophy and an agenda. I'm gonna need you to lower your head for battery here.
Okay.
Now remember in early thrash scenes, fans, reviewers, and bands alike savaged battery in the underground press. Gary Holt of Exodus in particular had heard a few of the songs and dismissed it as a piss-poor bedroom recorded Venom clone. Now in his defense, it was 85 and Exodus hadn't really lost the plot yet. And let's be honest here, the 84 Yellow Goat lo-fi demo-ish debut was an extension of Venom. But Venom, if Venom drank alone. No trips out to the pub with the lads. Oh no. Alone, festering in a stale-smelling bedroom, littered with empty bottles, overflowing ashtrays, and black spray-painted windows. And I also like to picture a half-curled smoke-stained poster of Lonnie Anderson on his wall, for some reason. But the eyes shot it out in black. Little did Gary Holt, the masses, or even Lonnie Anderson's sweet-ass self realize that this venom extension would rise up and kill its masters. Vicious, tormented, infected, and perfectly impure. Sweet little baby Jesus in the ghetto. Anyway, the speed, the sloppy musicianship, and the aggression of this band, especially on the return and under the sign of the Black Mark, would be inspirational to the Norwegian black metal scene of the 1990s. And I think, mama, it came from sweet baby Sweden. Slayer show no mercy.
Hey, I know them, because one of my mom's boyfriends was always listening to them in the garage working out. Even said that it was the only thing that kept him sane mowing down rats in Iraq.
That's incredibly problematic, Hemorrhoids. All around.
It's okay, they separated after he was found dead in a tree a quarter mile from town. They said it was suicide. Those safety bars on the Sky Scrambler don't just come open on their own. But it's funny, because every time I hear Spin Doctors, I can almost smell the popcorn and still hear him screaming as he was catapulted onto the outskirts of Becky Mooney's dad's farm. That's no way for a soldier to go.
Well, I appreciate his service. Now, I'm really not going to talk much about this one, but let me say I find it pretty irritating when the name Slayer is dropped in business casual settings. It's met with an almost unmanageable war cry of overzealous hooliganism. But then again, when dropped in more underground settings, in the halls of extremeness, Slayer's about as wicked as a Yakov Smirnoff said.
There are no things like American Express. They give you Russian Express. Don't leave home.
One that probably belongs on a Starbucks compilation CD with Tony Bennett and Diana Krall. But please fuck off, with all due respect. Now yes, of course, even by Slayer standards, this one is probably too melodic, but no bullshit. I found my ass and shoulders whimsically sashaying side to side while listening to Tormentor. Are you afraid of the night? But it's still vicious and relentless. But priest and maiden worship are the trick-or-treats of Merciful Fate. Now death metal owes this band and this album in particular a good time and a shoe shine. Although I do believe that the Blackened Legions of Drow would rather acknowledge haunting in the chapel more. Both, really. Alright, cool, enough fucking around. Let's clear up a few popular myths here. When I say Florida, what do you think of? No, don't look at them. They know this. This is for you.
Disney World, Tropicana orange juice, and Miami Sound Machine.
Alright, that's fair, but...
Oh, and a lot of old people go there to wait to die.
Alright, yes, this is all good. So it's an inspirational place with a rich history of leisure, sizzling nightlife, and nautical recreation. But hidden in the shadows are drugs.
Kids are calling it by the more popular slang term, butt hash.
Walmart people, and the swamp hillbilly revenge film subgenre. But the question is, what is it about Florida, Tampa in particular, that made it a breeding ground or beacon for death metal, in the same way that the kaiju monsters always ended up in Tokyo?
Sizzling nightlife?
Because that's what they were made, you jackass. Marketing. Romanticize all you want. Toho Studios was in Tokyo, daddy. And in Tampa, that monstrous creation was forged at More Sound Studios. So all these bands all over the states, they got the beacon. They flocked there and brought their own musical destruction. Because nobody else was making it look and sound so good. Harnessing that kind of energy and power. Now look where black metal came from. Scandinavia. Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. So if you're gonna romanticize it, like they do with Florida's death metal legacy, then why the hell not with Norway, right? Oh, a vast frozen wasteland, mountains and deep fjords, and small fishing villages hidden in remote arid forests. Pretty creepy inspiration, right? Well, fuck right off. Because like death metal, Floridians, they don't listen to it. If you go to Florida now, and you walk through Disney World, you're gonna be smacked in the face with, oh, shiny, happy top 40 hits. Maybe some Jimmy Buffett coming from a trailer, cooking a meth in the swamps. Well, that too is a bit of a stretch these days. You think Norway and Denmark are really frozen spook trails? I wish. Now, you can find some of that in Scandinavia, for sure. But not before passing on McDonald's or shopping malls and disco dance clubs. Now, ask me why I'm telling you this.
Why are you telling me?
Because at the end of the day, when it comes to black or death, the legends, the folklore, the characters, the scenes, it's all noise, mama, made by snotty little elitist teenagers with a fascination with death and darkness in tiny little pockets all over the globe. Just trying to be heavier and spookier than the next one. Ruined forever by the internet, and bless their black and lost souls for it.
How come you like death metal better?
Because I like heavy, shiny, expensive things. I like it chromed. I like it fast. I like performance and design like the roar of a 1973 Stutz Black Hawk 3. Oh, Anne Margaret, daddy. I like a Dan Seagrave painting in my foyer, guilty as charged. I like the comfort come as you are, weather-appropriate t-shirt and shorts of death, and just let the music do the talking. Not some spiky Mad Max costume and black rock. Fuck that. But do I look like I'm wearing a costume when I'm here working, Jack? Hell no. Comfort and speed. ready to go. Karate!
So is death better than black?
Well, that's difficult to say. A question as old as, about 1987 or some shit. To me, yes. But in reality, it's all metal, mama. And it's all pretty fucking awesome. It's just that I'm not wired for Transylvania hunger. That's theirs. I get that. I respect it. You need to know your place. You don't have to be everything for everybody. That shit is weak, and it goes against the very flames of hell and heavy metal. And as for black, I don't knock or blame the early black metal scene guys back in the day for their character sheet role personalities huddled in damn candlelit basements just hating on the commercialized bubblegum pop of Slayer and Deicide. The shit quality productions, the black and white Xerox photography. I get it. It adds to the overall cold and evil nature of that sound. Like listening to an auditory equivalent of a snuff film or anything directed by Don Doler. But sadly, it's all different now. The boundaries are blurred and everybody gets along. Minds are broadened. And it's fucking gay if you ask me.
You shouldn't say that.
Fuck you, I'm from a different era. I shouldn't say a lot. Oh, Merciful Fate. Just give me a moment. Excuse me, I almost tear up when I realize how much I love them.
It's okay. Take your time.
Much appreciated. You're an idiot, no doubt. But you have a big heart, darling.
Thank you.
So, yeah, Merciful Fate. To just sing about the occult and Satan, that's a surefire way to get your passport stamped as black metal. But I gotta tell you, that's incredibly inaccurate and stupid. I mean, by that logic, the Stones and Motley Crue were proto-black bands? No way, mama! From the influence of Alice Cooper's infamous shock rock horror stage antics, Merciful Fate and its frontman, King Diamond, were strong proponents of this style. Perfected with a corpse face painted frontman, shrieking operatically in a 4-octave range of fury and suffering, and into a mic stand fashioned into an inverted crucifix made by a real human tibia and femur bone. Get out of town. And you'd be dead wrong to think if that Speedy Twin lead new album inspired attack of tunes will be overshadowed by the King. I don't think so. They held their own too. Just a little uneasier about it, I think. A truly pioneering short-lived band. Goblins of all ages. Respect. Oh, Sarcophaga, I-N-R-I. Now, one of my biggest problems with Sarcophaga is the rabbit hole that it has me spiraling down when I get to talking about the complexities of Brazil's diverse industry sectors. At face value, you're like, these guys have the world by the ass, right? But fucking mining, or better yet, agriculture. Well, sure, it represents about 40% of all the exports, but it contributes relatively little to the GDP, 6.8%, and employs only 10% of the population? What the actual fuck? Now, not to be an armchair economist, but Brazil cannot rely on these commodities, especially in a post-pandemic world. You see what I'm saying? More input of the land is not going to reach acceptable income status that I think that they're hoping for. And to top it off, an unnecessarily complex taxation system and massive discouragement of independent entrepreneurship? Nah, Brazil, you got your issues. Now that, my friend, is where the beef between Sepultura and Sarcophaga really stems from. And seeing that Brazil homes the world's biggest cattle ranches? Oh, it's a whopper! Just read between the lines of bestial devastation, Daddy. I implore you to read the lyrics to Antichrist, and then have the balls to tell me you can't see the differences between the socio-economic ideologies between the Cavalera boys and former singer Wagner Lemonnier, aka Antichrist. So you see these differences between the two groups would inspire Wagner to form Sarcophaga. Their discography is a lo-fi, brutal, sacrilegious black metal blueprint of subtly masked economic policies that cryptically shifts away from the factor accumulation towards higher education, digital, and monetized infrastructure, and dare I say, oh Christ almighty, low carbon productivity. So this is what it's all been about, fuck's sakes. Even Kiss I had problems with the Cavaleras. And nothing against the music, Daddy. Sepultura is Brazil's finest export apart from soya. But I'm not about to argue with Wagner Antichrist Lemonnier and his PhD in economics and BA in economic science. No sir, no how. Sodom. Obsessed by Cruelty, 1985. Now you'd really have to be a bridge troll, or at the very least an escaped lunatic, silently waiting in the blue biocide slush of an amusement park toilet, just waiting for his queen to ordain him with majestic excreta, just to understand how far gone and broken this album sounds. Now I'm in the minority when I declare Sodom was kings of the black and German thrash. I know, the early shit's rough, but come on. Creator 2 was a little bit of a slog early on now, weren't they? And I mean that as a compliment. Ho. But can you imagine being a kid somewhere in 86? Just cutting their teeth on Rain and Blood and Puppets, naively thinking that the last pages of sonic brutality were coming to an end. But somehow, the claw side of a hammer that was obsessed by cruelty made contact with its aberrant primordial evil as almighty fuck subterranean fidelity of a 7th-generation ransom tape. Legions of Death, Black and Fey folk of the Underdark, and volcanic sluts alike are in Sodom's debt.
Master Protege.
You alright there, Daddy?
I kind of feel like porridge.
Alright, that's enough for today, kids. But now seriously, this is just a beginner's intro, and we got a lot to go through and a lot to pick from.
Is there gonna be a test?
Oh, the ultimate test. And failure will result in you spending an eternity in the demon pit web of the Spider Queen love, forever drained of your liquefied organs, only to be reanimated by the sorcery of a queef venom.
For serious?
No. We'll just go over it again until you get it. But Loth, yeah, she's real.